Okay, so I'd like to do a little check-in, just see how it went. If there's any questions coming up about the technique or concerns or clarifications needed, I'd love to hear from you. Just put up, do the raise hand thing if you have a question. Yeah, unmute Liesel. Liesel, hi.
Hi, hi. Um, my question is, I noticed most of the time when I was being given the imperative, there's there's what there is normally now when I go around in life, there was the sense of awareness, the sense of beingness, and then a whole bunch of different, maybe phenomena sort of happening in that container of beingness. And so I'm a little unsure. I felt like in some of the instruction it was to articulate all of the phenomenon, but then in some of the instruction it was to go with what is the most real thing, which is the consistent real thing is the awareness in which all of the, you know, different sensations and stuff are coming up. And so I'm not quite sure what to um, what to report. And a lot of the a lot of the time too, um, there was, the awareness, and then but there was awareness of so many different phenomenon that it would, in time, it would be too difficult to, like, you couldn't simultaneously convey all of the phenomenon. So what I ended up doing is kind of describing the awareness, and then when I noticed that there was a pull toward a particular phenomenon, then I reported that phenomenon. But I don't know what is, what is best in this.
Okay, so when you received the imperative, did you take time to directly experience who you are?
I took some time. I think I have no idea if I took the appropriate amount of time.
Okay, so
Um,
so the technique really, what we want to do, we intend to directly experience, and then we just sort of see if anything moves in the mind and body, and that's what we report. So what we want to report, sometimes people fall into almost doing like a weather report of what's going on, but we don't really want to do that. That can become sort of mechanical, and so we want to just report what comes up as a result of the inquiry. So when you intend to directly experience who you are, what comes up as a result of doing that? Has anything moved in the mind and body? Is there an energy that comes? Is there a feeling, an emotion, a frustration, anything? But as a result of doing that direct inquiry, that's what we want to do. Yeah. So when we say, what's the most real thing in this moment? What's the most real thing as a result of doing that inquiry?
okay. I think you know, I
I
think
think
there's
I think somebody's sharing a screen here. Not sure what happened there. Okay, that's Zeus sharing something. Okay, sorry about that.
I think what there's when I'm asked that question, what is the most real thing here, then it is always this awareness in which the phenomenon are um, happening. So
So that awareness, so the imperative, tell me who you are. Are you that awareness?
absolutely.
That's you. Yeah. So just, go into that. That's it. If that, for you, that awareness is the most real thing, that's awesome. That's actually true. So that's amazing. So go into that and see. Sometimes there can be more clearing that happens within the self structure than when we start to, if you really know that your awareness, you don't have to be looking for who you are, so you can just abide as that awareness, and just report from there, just convey, freely who you are from there, and whatever is meant to clear in the mind body will come up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll go to Susie.
Yeah, thank you. If you just don't hear what the person says, would you recommend using the statement, could you clarify that, or is it best to ask them to repeat so they know it's not that you're not understanding, but it's just like an audio issue?
Oh, sure. Yeah. In that case, just say, can you repeat that, please? Yeah. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a new one really for Zoom, because in person usually it's not an issue, but yeah, sometimes it just cuts out. So yeah, Ira.
Hi, thank you so much. My question is a question and a feedback about the time. My question was that I was really interested in knowing who the person was on the other side, and it did something to me. And when my turn came, and the imperative was asked, I was at a loss, like I have never been before.
How would you describe that loss? That being at a loss? What does that feel like?
It was really lovely, but I couldn't sort of maybe contain it or verbalize it. I was checking for preferences, and I was checking for, like, am I playing this not wanting to speak what's happening? But there was a distinct loss.
Yeah, so that, you're sharing that right now. So that's a perfect thing that you could share in the dyad with your partner as well. Even though, even if it's ineffable, even if we can't really articulate it, we can sort of almost get it across, empathically sometimes, or through our eyes, or just by our presence. So the tell me who you are, it doesn't have to be analytical with just words. It can be, convey to me who you are, somehow. We don't, it's not really possible, but the more free we are in this process, or maybe it's just your beingness, maybe there's just an aliveness shining through you in that moment. There's no right or wrong to it. So and when we're witnessing, we can, the witnessing can be extremely powerful. We can have an awakening as a witness as well. It's quite, sometimes it's the inquirer who will have that direct experience, but sometimes it's the witness as well. So so just whatever that ineffable beingness that we, can be recognized, we want to eventually be able to live life from that place. So it's not like we, it's like I have my thinking mind over here, but the real me is over here. Then there's still a split. So we want to be able to communicate and convey from the truth of who we are. So at the beginning, when we get a glimpse of that, it's like we want to hold it and protect it, and but eventually we want to be able to just express without compartmentalizing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Renee.
Thank you. Thank you. What I would like to share here is emotions when given the imperative. What came up for me immediately was sensation around the heart and emotions,
Mm-hmm.
strong emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And as I gazed out looking for words, I was pulled back in and reminded, the eye contact is very important. It's like, to me, it was soul to soul, soul calling soul back. That's how I received that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep it real simple. Those two, emotions, heart centered sensation, always awareness. Always awareness. And when witnessing, listening to the words that were coming out, it seemed to be that there was something inside of me that wanted to calculate every item, like itemize what the imperative was saying, like that inquiry was just, I just wanted to like put it in. This was said, this was said, this was said. There was some sensation that pulled me to just calculating and trying to build a memory of what was being said. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't, well, not I. The question is, how does one, being aware of it while I was doing it didn't stop it from happening?
Mm-hmm.
And so does that take away from the inquiry itself from the person? Am I losing something in translation?
Mm-hmm. No,
So,
that's a great question. So yeah, this is what you're describing is exactly what happens. So, these mechanisms of the mind, like that calculating part of the mind, whatever that is, it's usually running in the unconscious. So when we make it conscious, we fully bring it into awareness. We convey that this is what's happening. Quite often, whatever it is that we express, this is how we clear the mind. That calculating part of the mind, it's just another process of the mind. So when we make it fully conscious, it drops. So you're doing it exactly right. Like, that's it. You just, whatever's coming up, just keep reporting it and observe it, really see it, like feel it, like feel like, that whatever that mechanism is, you're really coming in contact with it, and then it can actually drop. And it's only when things are in the unconscious that they have a power and a momentum.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll do one last one with Ivan. Hi, Ivan.
Yes, my question is, was this the time for one or two people? Because we had times only for one.
Oh, so one person like only took up the whole period. So yeah, so the idea is to switch every 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, roughly, like it doesn't have to be exactly, but the feeling is, after you've shared completely, usually it's about 5 minutes, and then you just say thank you, and then you switch roles again. So if that didn't happen, I guess sometimes some people are new to this process, so it might just be something that is corrected in the next dyad.
But I was the witness, and I, as a witness, should I ask you, can you, do you want me to change with you or something like that?
Normally we don't do that. Really, it's up to everyone to really kind of keep track of how much time has passed. So we don't want to take up all the time. So whoever your partner is now, I'm sure they get it. So it's not really necessary, and it can be sometimes if someone is sharing something that's very deep or they're in a process, we don't want to interrupt them. So it's best for the witness to just maintain neutrality and not prompt them in any way. And sometimes it will just it's not a perfect world. So sometimes that happens.
But I was the witness, and my person was all this time was trying to speak, and at the end, he can't.
Okay. Okay. Why don't I'm going to check in with you separately. Yeah, we'll just normally that doesn't happen. So there's something that needs to be pointed out or observed in that. So I'll connect with you shortly there.
Well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Ivan. All right. So I think we'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll come back and dive in again. Thank you.
How long will this session be, Dan?
This will be a 40-minute one.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Tayama, could you put me in a breakout room with Ivan for a second?
Yeah, I sure can. How do I do that I don't know if I can do that when the breakout rooms I don't have them open right now.
Okay.
If I open them, it's going to send everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'm gonna send Ivan a chat message here. Just one second.
Okay. When I open them though, I can make sure you guys are in a room on your own.